Hi guys, and welcome to my forecast, which is going to focus on the upcoming 2 weeks of the waxing moon cycle that begins on September the 7th with a new moon in Virgo. So this could potentially be quite a pivotal kind of moment for Bitcoin. I mean, as we know, there's a lot happening in the external world in relation to, particularly in America, in relation to sort of legislation and regulation around the cryptocurrency market. So if we kind of add that into the astrology, and we also take into consideration things like Gann time periods, this could be an important kind of pivot point for Bitcoin. So I thought it was worth, just stopping to kind of take a look at the chart. So as we can see, we've got the new moon in Virgo happening here in the second house, and of course this is the house of value. It's the house of price, if you like. So it could be that we move into price discovery over the next 2 weeks. We might be kind of moving to new all-time highs. That's certainly a possibility, given this beautiful mystic rectangle that we've got going on between the moon, the earth, and also the sun, the Bitcoin sun. And of course this is very important in the Bitcoin chart because it's the chart ruler. So as I say, we could be moving into price discovery. That's certainly a possibility here. The other thing that's happening just before this new moon, and which will play into the energy of this new moon, is that Jupiter is going to be making a trine to Venus. Now, Venus is here in Libra in the 4th house, and Jupiter is in the 7th house of kind of of relationship. So there may be some sort of fundamental relationship that is shifting for Bitcoin, and it may have something to do with either the way that Bitcoin is used, so its relationship to holders, but it could also have something to do with if you think about the 4th house as being about roots and legacy, and also where something is kind of rooted, so where it's kind of situated, this may have something to do with the kind of fundamentals around Bitcoin. The way that it sort of operates, or the way that it's where information is stored. So something to do with the blockchain that might be kind of shifting in a quite a positive direction here. So it might be to do with certain upgrades or developments, maybe in relation to the Lightning Network, something like that. But it does bode very well. This is a combining of the energies of the two benefics in astrology. So this is very, very positive energy. And I do feel that it has something to do with the community, because all of these are relationship oriented houses. As I say, Venus is about fundamental family relationships, so relationships of kind of origin, so to do with Bitcoin developers, for example, and also maybe to do with Satoshi Nakamoto and his legacy, and then the 7th house is to do with the other. So for me, in Bitcoin terms, this is very much about the people that love Bitcoin, that buy Bitcoin, that trade Bitcoin regularly, that have a kind of very close affiliation with Bitcoin, and then Venus rules the 11th house, so this is again emphasizing community and groups, and Jupiter rules, well, it's intercepted actually in the 5th house, which is very often to do with speculation and kind of trading, that kind of thing. So not 100% sure how that's going to pan out. All I will say is that Jupiter's coming off of conjunction to the Bitcoin Neptune. Neptune rules the 9th house, so this may have something to do with laws, regulations, or kind of like overseas domiciling. So say for example there's an attempt to bring in legislation around Bitcoin in America, which there's certainly it looks like it's kind of in the pipeline after that infrastructure bill, which is due to be signed off actually in the autumn. So it might not be in time for this particular new moon, but people are kind of expecting it to come not too much afterwards. They're expecting it to be finalized around about the 20th of September, possibly signed as early as October. So I do think that there are some really important developments that are going to be happening now, and you can see this with transiting Saturn, which is coming back up to an alignment with Neptune, with Mercury in the chart in the 6th house. So something here about regulation or solidifying of the fundamentals of the way that Bitcoin works. That could be important. It may relate to past events because, as I say, Saturn is retrograde, so we could be talking about revisions, you're making some patches, or like re-looking at something, or reversing of decisions. So maybe some kind of backtracking if there are kind of any obstacles that come up now. These are likely to start being reversed. Yes, so I think an interesting time. The other thing that's also going to be important is Uranus. So Uranus is making, it's coming off of a trine actually to the Bitcoin Sun, which is also extremely positive, and it's making a trine to the luminary. So we can see how this plays into the 2-week waxing moon cycle. And of course, waxing moons generally bring about increase. So we start off sort of, with the crescent, and then the moon kind of gets bigger and bigger. So that could be, as I say, what's going to happen to price. That's how I'm kind of interpreting it, given that it's in the 2nd house of value. So I do think that we could see, potentially the first wave of the sort of final kind of upsurge in the Bitcoin bull market. But I'm with people like Ken Stanfield and Jordan Lindsay that I think it's going to be a 3-wave thing. This is only going to be the first of 3 waves. I don't think we're going to get to a top until at least the end of December. And that's because of Jupiter. So, but yes, certainly I think we could move to price discovery before kind of coming down again, and then maybe sort of trading in a range. But this is looking extremely positive, as I say, with all these blue aspects that we see here. We've only got 2 red aspects here between Neptune, which is making opposition to Saturn. So this could potentially, as I said, this could be regulation, which is trying to sort of water down the sort of momentum that's building around Bitcoin, particularly, as I say, to do with the excitement that kind of gets new people involved in Bitcoin, and that want to kind of come into the market and buy. But I think that with 9th house here and with Venus in the 4th, it could simply be about, if you are based in America, getting a second passport, or kind of domiciling somewhere else, so that you're not necessarily affected by regulation change or introductions of new laws in another territory. I think that's going to be the way to sort of, because mutable energy is really about kind of moving around things, not letting things kind of block our path. But it could also potentially in the short term water down price. So that's why I feel like we might move into price discovery, only for things to kind of then come down a little bit because of SEC clampdowns, possibly. Some people are saying that might happen as early as like October. So I think a lot will also depend on there is talk about the Taproot upgrade. I forgot about that, and hats off to Coin Guy at Coin Bureau for pointing that out. So that's exactly what I think Venus is about, is Taproot, because as I was saying, it's all about kind of roots. So, and if we think the Jupiter's about expansion or kind of upgrading, yes, I think that the Taproot upgrade is going to be extremely positive for Bitcoin. And even though that might not happen straight away, I think that if we get any good indication or any positive signs coming out of that, or maybe more people getting to know about that Taproot upgrade, that could have very positive spin-off effects for Bitcoin. So as I say, things looking quite positive here. So yes, we'll have to see how it all kind of pans out. But for now, I'm definitely saying good news and potentially sort of price discovery. So yes, watch the space.